So today I want to talk about who I am and how I started identifying as a goth. There's a lot of different things that made the outcome as it is. It's never just one thing, and that appears also in history, and of course you know that, I think. I will not go totally deep because a lot of it is private, but I can tell you some of the stuff so that you know the outline of how I began identifying as a goth. So, who am I? No. So, my name is Josephine, and I live in Denmark, and I was born in Denmark, so I've been here all of my life. I'm 24 years old, and well, there's a lot of stuff that I like to do. Everything creative I love doing. So, just a little bit about my person. I love to knit, I love to paint, I love to draw, I love to embroidery, I love to do embroidery, and I love to explore my green fingers, keeping plants. I'm not the best of it to do it, but I am getting better and better, and then I just can't complain about that. Progress is good. Also, small progress is also good. So, but how? And I also love books. Oh, as you can see, I love reading. Ooh, and I love history a lot. And I actually have a bachelor degree in classical archaeology. And I am very proud of that. I love it. I love it so much. But right now, I am not working as an archaeologist. And more of that I cannot say in this video, but maybe I will make another video about why I am not working as an archaeologist sometime in the future. I don't know when. But into the good stuff, the nice stuff. Why did I begin identify as a goth? Well, for some people, I actually began identifying as a goth very late. I was not a very small child when I discovered it or something like that, and that is just awesome. I didn't have the means to explore when I lived at home. I didn't have, this sounds like I was born in the 70s or 80s, but no, I was not. I'm only 24. But I did not have a computer I was able to go online on until I was in 7th grade? Yeah, in 7th grade, my mom bought me and my little sister a computer, and then I had to pay off the money to get it, but I still had access to it. I was just paying off over time. But then I was 13? And that is very young to have a computer, but today it's nothing. But first there, I got to get my own computer, and I was the last in my class to do that. And I didn't have any money on my own. The money I paid for the computer was my chores at home, so that was how I paid it off, or my birthday money. And I didn't ever really have my birthday money in my own hands. They always got put in the bank, so I couldn't decide myself what I used my birthday money on, because then I always had to get loud. So if they didn't like it, or if my birth mom didn't like it, then she would just say no. So I really couldn't do a lot of stuff when I was home. I wasn't allowed to be outgoing, seeing new people they didn't know. It wasn't like when I came in 8th grade or 9th grade, or like when I started at the gymnasium. I wasn't allowed either that much as other people were to go out. So like if it was something to do with my school, then yes, I could, because it was school stuff. Also, if it was a party at the school, yes, I could attend to that, and I'm so glad, and it was very fun. But I didn't do it always because, you know, homework and life and things. But like, I did, and then, but in the weekends I couldn't. So I did not have any money to go to concerts. I didn't have any money to go in town. I didn't have any exploration, like experiences taking the bus, because I didn't have any money to take the bus. So of course I couldn't take the bus to other towns, bigger towns, because where I live is a very very small town. Like, I think there is only 14,000 people in the total of that city and the area to that city. So and so that was like what, 4,000 in the center of the city or something. So it was like, yeah, that was how I grew up. But also my birth mom, she introduced me to Queen and to AC/DC, the Genesis and the Cure. She had all of the LPs, and well, unfortunately, we didn't have an LP machine, or what you call it, that worked at the time. But of course, she had listened to them when she was young, and so she still listened to them with CDs and stuff like that. And whenever my dad wasn't home a lot, so she would just turn up the full volume whenever she was cleaning. And then that happened a lot, like every weekend. So that was how I grew up, with a lot of rock and the Cure. So, well, even though I didn't have any influence from the outside world of where I lived, I had a lot of influence on the inside. Like, come on, it's not that hard to guess how it worked out from there. Like, so I moved, like, no, in the gymnasium. Let's take it there, because there something happened. Like, I had always, no, we need to go to the step just before. Yes, in middle school, I didn't have many friends, and I was very lonely at sometimes of life. Like, I had some friends and they were so good and so amazing, but I was like the kind of girl or the kind of child that was left in the corner, and then I just were there. And actually, not because I want people to think, oh, it's so sad you were alone, but yes, I was alone a lot, and I hated being alone. But it was just so hard to me to make connections with other people that a lot of the time I just didn't care if I were alone, because if I were alone, then at least I knew what to do, if it makes any sense. Like, then I could just take a book and read, and no one would disturb me. Or if I could, like, be creative and I knew no one would disturb me. And I just liked that. And not many other people really like being alone and being weirdly creative, or just sitting there and reading. So I was just like, yeah, I was a weird one in middle school, I think, because I bonded very badly with others and stuff like that, and I was a bit nerdy. the weird kid. But I had some lovely friends, and we did a lot of stuff together. But that is like not for now, not the storytelling for now. But then in the gymnasium, some stuff evolved, because then the first year in the gymnasium there's 3 years, and in the first year I actually got, no, not in the first year, whoa, it was in the summer, like in the summer between the first year and the second year, I got my first boyfriend. And at this time I still didn't have accessibility to my own account, to my own money, where all of my birthday money were, and where all of what is called, like my money that I earned were, because in middle school I delivered newspapers and commercials, and I didn't even have access to the money yet. So they were just locked in a bank account somewhere, and yeah. So I got a boyfriend, my first boyfriend, in the gymnasium, and there was a lot of troubles there, but there were also some good stuff. And one of them was that he was like, hey, you are old enough to have your own money, so why don't you have it? And then I was like, well, my birth mom says I'm not allowed until I'm 18, and at this point I was almost 17, yes. And then he was just like furious, like, oh my fucking god, you can have your own account, you can have your money. So I went down to the bank and I was like, is it really true? Can I have my own money? Because then yes, please give it to me. Give me a card or something so that I can administrate it myself, because like I earned this money, it's mine. And then I got it, and then my birth mom was furious. But then, because I finally got my money, like short time after, I began searching online for clothes, because I was like, okay, I don't ever really get any clothes that I want, because I couldn't decide before. Now I have the money, now I can decide. Finally! Yes! So, let me loose! Oh devil, yes! That was like how I felt. And my boyfriend at the time had a sister that was cybergoth, or so he told. I don't really know if this is true, but that's another story. But he introduced me, the point is, he introduced me to the cybergoth clothing, and compared to the music that I already listened to, and compared to my birth mom having 5 siblings, which they had also kids, and I was like, we are almost the same age, a lot of them. So, and all of them, all the guys, they were big, or they are big metal fans, metalheads. So it was kind of totally in the family, a lot of metal, a lot of rock, and a lot of goth rock as well, with The Cure. And like, so it was really natural to me, like searching, and I was so like intimidated by this new culture and clothes and stuff and music. And finally I had the opportunity to search about it, go to YouTube, and actually see some of the clothes and where I could buy it. And I did not have many money at the time, because like I wasn't 18 yet. I didn't get, like in Denmark we get SU when we study and we're over 18. So it was still like from my birthday money and such that I bought my new clothes. And my money from whenever I had the job with the newspapers. And I didn't have that at this time. I stopped in middle school doing that because it was just a bad job. But then I was singing in a choir which I also got a little bit of money from. Not much, but a little, yes, and that is good. So I started buying a little bit of clothes at the time. Like I found a site in Denmark that was called punkshop.dk. And then I started buying there because they were so cheap. And then a few years after, they closed down. So I discovered that they were so cheap because they were selling out to close down. And oh god, I got a lot from there, from like a few thousand kroners, and if they weren't like on sale like they were, like I couldn't have bought all that I did. It would have cost like a lot of money, like 10,000 or something, and I got it for like 2,000. It's crazy what I got there. So that was really like the beginning of me having a corset, having dreadlocks like dreadfalls, having cyberlocks. I still have those first pairs of cyberlocks, but I'm more keen to the dreads myself. But I think that I would love trying the cyberlocks again at some point, because I still have them. And then I also, together with me buying, like I bought, what I did was I bought like one outfit at the time, because or else I didn't have enough money to do it. Because you all know it's expensive to be goth with all of the different things. And I didn't really have that much black clothes in my like wardrobe before, because I was like a flower girl, like, oh, I'm such a little girl, flower, and I hated it actually. But at the same time, like my birth mom was like, you're such a little flower girl. You are 17, but no, you are 8 years old. Oh, sorry. But yes, so I didn't have that much black. For some reason, but also because myself, I was like a little bit like, I like colors, why do I need black? And then it became an obsession, like, no, it's black, I don't want it, it's the devil. And then I needed everything black with accent colors, because I still use accent colors. I like that. And like, then how I learned about stuff, because at home I didn't know anything. My mom didn't even know that The Cure was goth, and like, it was so crazy everything. So I learned a lot about it from the YouTube site, and I just Googled It's Black Friday, and I began to watch her a lot. I didn't Google it, but I found It's Black Friday and I watched her a lot. And I also watched Psychara a lot, and I also watched of Herbs and Altars, and what there are more. Also Angela Benedict or something. I watched a lot, and also Ray Phillips. Yes, don't forget her. So I just learned, and also Toxic Tears, and I just like had to see all of these to like, what are you doing? How do you find cheap clothes? How do you thrift it? How stuff like that, and what music do you listen to? Like, oh my god, so much music, and I just loved it all. It was like such an adventure in the gymnasium for me to just explore all of this, and I still were just like me, and I kind of still just am me. Like, no, like my partner also, but like, I just, like, when Angela talks on her YouTube channel, like, sorry, she talks about this big open community, and I have never had that. Like, in the start, yes, of course I was like inside. I couldn't go out that as much. I lived in a very small town, not many people. But when I moved out just before I was 19, and after I finished the gymnasium, I moved to Aarhus, and I have been living there since. So that's like 5.5 years now. And like I have not found the gothic community here. Like there's a lot of goths, yes, but they are like hiding under the rocks and all under the stones and everywhere. Like you need to know where to go, and you see them on the street and you're like, ooh, but like there's not a community here yet. And I say yet because I hope that it will change. But there is a metal community, and I were there a lot when I moved to Aarhus, because I needed to, like, it was metal and rock and like, yes, like it was something, and it was just such a big family to enter like that, and I never had that, so that was awesome. Also because I didn't have any friends at the time, and where is it better to get friends than at a metal bar when there is not a goth bar? Like, of course, yes. So yeah, I got a lot of experience, and it was just crazy. So there were a lot of like different things that made me goth and stuff, like the music from when I was young, the rock and the goth rock. That especially like made me maybe liking goth rock and metal even more. Like I know metal isn't like goth, but like there is goth metal. But like maybe that just made me darker channel or something, if you can call that, to the music side or something. I just really like the music. And then that particular boyfriend that I had that opened the scene of the clothes, like that was when I discovered the clothing. And then at that time I began watching YouTubers, and then oh my eyes just, and then I saw a complete new world, and everything just began from there, and it will never stop, because why? I cannot stop it. And I'm still learning so much about new goth rock and new metal, of course. Like a lot of new metal bands are there, and a lot of new goth bands are there. You just need to know where and you need to find them. And I use YouTube a lot for that. Like you can just find so much there. So yes, it was just crazy. And I just felt like when I found this, I felt complete. Everything made sense to me. Like, this is what I like to listen to. Before I was just like, nah, it's just music. I don't really like it. Nah, it's just, I don't have any feelings to this. I don't understand this music. I don't really listen to music. And then I found this and discovered this, and then I found my place. And now I know that whenever people are saying, I don't really listen to music, I don't really feel music, then maybe it's because the persons haven't like found the right music yet. Because I thought that too, and then I was just caught up red-handed, like, oh my god. Yes, it was amazing. It changed my life actually, because then I really had a goal to go for. Like, I began dreaming about stuff. Like, I've always had that little girl dream, living on a castle, having fairy tale dinners and such like that. But like now, oh my, it's like renovate a castle or build it yourself, but with a dark cellar. And like that is ready to make horror movies, and like big bedrooms with the biggest draping curtains and like all this dark interior setting and totally vampire setting home. Oh yes, I love that. And like that. So like my dreams from when I was little, they've just evolved. They have not like stopped and then changed. I feel like no, they've just like putting on the next layer. So like yes, when I was small it was fluffy unicorns and with a lot of colors, and now it's like the same. It's still a unicorn, but it's just dark. It's just black. Still fluffy. So like what can I say? I just, yeah, like that was when I began. So what was my age? Like my age for 16 or 17. I don't remember right now if I were 17 or 16 when I began identifying as goth. Yeah, that was the time. It's crazy. So it has not been for that many years. I'm still new. I'm still very new at being a goth, as identifying, but I will never stop doing it. And I can keep talking about this, but I hope that I can make more videos about this topic, so that they will be more specified, because I need to do that so that I don't fly around and don't know what I'm talking at or something. Because I tend to do that. Like I need to talk about this and then I find like and then I'm just like everywhere. So I need to plan it out, just a little bit, like topic wise, but oh yeah, this is just such an entirely different world, like nice world. I like it. I like this. Also the conception of gothic identity, of accepting that bad things happen in the world, but don't sit down and just weep all the time. Like, okay, if something hurts and stuff, like, yes, grieve, weep it out, get treatment, get help, get a lot of hugs. I don't say there's no love. I don't say there's no place for remorse or for grieving or anything like that, but I'm saying like it's like accepting bad things can happen, but you also need to move on. That was like also a very big deal for me when I learned that, like the darkly inclined stuff, like the vampires, the gothic literature, and all of that stuff. Like it's all the horror. Like I just like it. Yeah, it's hard to describe, but if you sit there and are like, I get you, then of course you will get me. And I hope that you have that feeling, because I just feel like this is my place in the world. Like, yeah, this is just who I am. And I hope that you are still here listening, and I hope that I didn't ramble too much, and I really hope that I see you in the next video. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.